We had a conversation yesterday here on this channel about the running back position and how the running back position needs help. And today we're going to talk about the wide receivers because we clearly need more help at wide receiver. After week one, it just wasn't good enough. And if you look at Anthony Richardson's number from the game, right, he had 24 for 37 for 223, a touchdown and an interception. Like it wasn't, those aren't terrible numbers. But then when you look at the receivers and how the receiving breakdown went in this game, Michael Pittman Jr. ends up with 11 targets, ends up with 8 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Kylen Granson gets 6 targets. Josh Down gets 7 targets. And Deion Jackson, a running back, gets 6 targets. Now, what I will say before I get into the rest of this is that the Jaguars were playing a lot of too high. And because of that, that defense is made to be like a bend don't break, right? You keep everything in front of you. And what they wanted to do was make the Colts have to have long drives and make Anthony Richardson have to methodically go down the field and beat him, right? And they were hoping he would make mistakes as he tried to take chances down the field, which he did later in the game. So when you look at some of the numbers, right, a lot of people talking about Alec Pierce not having a great game, but he's a deep shot kind of guy, right? He's not going to run a lot of those short to intermediate routes. He's a guy that's getting down the field, and they just weren't trying to test the defense in Anthony Richardson's first start. So understanding that going forward, that could change, or we could see a lot of teams try to play too high and try to make Anthony Richardson make mistakes. And in that case, that's where you're going to need guys that can get open on a consistent basis and can get the ball downfield on a consistent basis and do run after the catch on a consistent basis, right? So looking at this game, we're looking at Alec Pierce had 1 catch for 5 yards, right? Josh Downs on his 7 targets, 3 catches for 30 yards. Kylen Granson turned 6 targets into 4 catches for 39 yards. Like the efficiency in this offense just wasn't really there. Not exactly where you want it to be, right? The running game wasn't working, so that makes it harder to pass the ball when the defense doesn't have to respect the running game. So, sure, the running game needs to be fixed, but when we're looking at the pass game, right, you look at what Alec Pierce did last year. And granted, Matt Ryan was the quarterback. The entire offense didn't do well last year, but he had 41 catches on 78 targets for 593 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, decent rookie year, but nothing special, right? Nothing special from Alec Pierce last year. We're hoping for a breakout this year, but we're going to have to see what happens, right? Josh Downs is primarily going to be in the slot, and he played good in that role, right? The targets that he was missing, most of them were more bad throws by Anthony Richardson, right? Throws that are too high. And we're going to see a lot of that with throws to Josh Downs because, first of all, Josh Downs is only 5'9", but also Anthony Richardson misses high. If he's missing, it's usually missing high. So we're going to see that a lot with Josh Downs and his target to reception ratio. But Josh Downs is fine, right? Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs are just fine. What I really want to talk about here is somebody that the Colts need to go get. It's not somebody that we need to trade for. This is a guy that we would be signing through free agency. And when you look at his career numbers, you could make the argument that he's by far and away the best free agent wide receiver on the market. Okay, he has 638 career receptions. He has 9,812 career receiving yards. And he has 53 career touchdowns. My friends, it is no other than the ghost himself, T.Y. Hilton. Okay, I understand what people are going to say. They're going to talk about his age and he can't stay healthy and this BS and that BS. Look, I don't care. It's T.Y. Hilton. First of all, I want him to go over 10,000 yards as an Indianapolis Colt. He is very close to that mark in his career. How close do you ask? Well, he only needs 309 yards as a Colt to join Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne as the only Colts receivers to ever reach 10,000 receiving yards as a Colts receiver. And that's very doable. Like that there, honestly, like if that's the only reason we signed him was to get him over that 10,000 threshold, that'd be just fine. But this also makes sense because when we saw him with the Cowboys last year, right, he signs late in the year, plays a little bit in the playoffs, Like, he was getting first downs for them. He didn't catch a bunch of passes, but most of the passes that he caught were for first down. So he's still able to move the chains. We saw the deep ball in the Cowboys game. He was able to still blow by guys, right? He's all rested up now. His body's had time to really heal itself and get everything right again. So, from that aspect, I think you bring him in, you put him in special situations and in times where you need it, and Ty can provide it, right? And not only do you get what he could bring you on the field, but we already have Reggie Wayne as a receiver coach on this team. And who was with Ty? Who mentored Ty Hilton coming into the league? It was Reggie Wayne. So bringing him in, then you have another Colts legend, another great veteran receiver that can teach all these young guys the tricks of the trade, especially a guy like Josh Downs, right? T.Y. Hilton and the experience that he has, the knowledge that he has would be absolutely invaluable for a guy like Josh Downs, because Josh Downs and T.Y. Hilton are built the same, right? Kind of the same sort of receiver. But T.Y. Hilton played on the outside for most of his career, whereas Josh Downs is playing on the inside in the slot position. So you could have Ty show him how to be that guy on the outside in the NFL, and then Alec Pierce becomes expendable, right? If you bring in T.Y. Hilton, Alec Pierce becomes expendable. Isaiah McKenzie is still on the roster. He can still be that depth guy along with T.Y. Hilton. But bringing in T.Y. Hilton gives us quite the rotation. I'd feel much better about our rotations a receiver just bringing T.Y. Hilton in. Okay, because what else are we going to do? Right? If we're in the, hey, let's try to have assets so that we can trade up and get Marvin Harrison Jr. next year, then we can't go and trade for a superstar wide receiver, right? So if we're looking at best case scenario for Colts Nation is T.Y. Hilton to become a Colt again. I'd love to know if there was an argument against that, right? Like, because I just don't get it, right? Because there's going to be some people that watch this that are going to be in the comment section saying, hey, he's too old. We don't need him. We need to go get, I don't know. You probably wouldn't say Mike Evans, but like, who else would we go get at receiver? What else would we do? I'd like somebody to let me know down in the comment section, because I really don't know. I think this is a great option. I think this would be great for the locker room. I think it'd be great for this team. It'd be great for Anthony Richardson. Like, just imagine the things that T.Y. Hilton would be able to teach Anthony Richardson, right? And then the relationship that T.Y. has with Andrew Luck. In that case, does Andrew Luck, by osmosis, just become a de facto mentor to Anthony Richardson? Like, I think there are a lot of benefits to bringing Ty back in the building. So I think this is a great idea. Again, I'd love to know what other people think. What do you think of Ty? If there are any other options of people to bring in, please let me know down in the comment section. And don't forget that roughly 89% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button if you're a returning viewer, and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. And with that said, as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.